today's topic is trying to break generational curses. And what I mean by that is not just in one way. A lot of people always look at it as like being a parent is the only way that you can break generational curses, not doing exactly what your parents did, even though I'm going to touch on that as well. I mean in a lot of areas, financially, the way we think, the way we do things can sometimes stem from the way that we were raised. But just because our parents did things like that, or our aunts or whoever took part in our raising did things that way, doesn't necessarily mean that it's the correct way that it should have been done. Like I stated in my last video, I'm not saying that I'm a perfect parent. It's some things that my baby may want to talk to me about once she gets older, and I'll be okay with that. And that's another thing that I want to start with. I want her to be able to come to me openly. I want her to be able to talk to me about any and everything without feeling like, oh, I don't know what my mom will feel about this, or I don't know if I'm going to hurt her feelings. It doesn't matter. I just want her to feel comfortable enough to talk to me about whatever it is. And I don't want her to feel like I'm going to overreact about it. I don't want to yell at her about everything. I don't want her to feel as though I'm always right because I'm the parent. I don't think that's right. Just because you're the parent doesn't necessarily mean that you're always right or you're doing things the right way. Sometimes once a child becomes an adult or even a teenager, they should be able to come to you and let you know, I feel like you were wrong, Mom. I feel like you were wrong, Dad. I feel like you were wrong, whoever took part in your raising, without you blowing up and having an attitude or not talking to them or running out of their lives or making them feel as though they can't talk to you. If they can't talk to their parents, then who will they talk to? But sometimes parents or family members get upset when you go to outsiders to vent, or when you feel like you can't talk to anybody. Those can sometimes be the reasons that we don't open up, because we've been pretty much put in the mindset of, if I go to this person, then I don't know how things will end. Or if I say something, then they may say they're not going to do this anymore, or it's always going to be some kind of confrontation. Who wants to deal with that? I don't, and I hope you wouldn't. And like I said, it doesn't just go as far as parenting style, but that as well. A lot of things that happened, or a lot of things that went on when I was a child, I'm not saying I had a bad childhood at all, because I didn't, but there's a lot of things that now that I'm an adult and I'm a mother, that I won't do, or that I will try not to do, because it doesn't necessarily mean that it was right. A lot of times people say, well, that's how I was raised. Well, that's all I know. Well, it's time for you to know something different. It's time for you to do something different, because that doesn't necessarily mean that that was the correct way for things to go. Sometimes we don't even realize how, what's the word that I'm looking for? How brainwashed we can be growing up, thinking that everything that we seen happen was correct, and it wasn't. It doesn't mean that your parent or parents were bad parents. It just means that you are choosing a different route for your child or children. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. A lot of people may say that we spoil our baby. That's your opinion. If I choose to love my baby a little more, if I choose to pick her up when she starts crying, if I choose to love on her the way that I want to love on her, that's my way of parenting her. That's my parenting style. And no one has to like it. At the end of the day, it's very rare anyway that we even ask anyone to watch her. For one, because of this nasty virus going around. And for two, we're just not those kind of parents. We love bonding with her. We love being with her. Yes, sometimes parents need a break, and we understand that. But we also understand that time waits on no one. And I just see the things that she's doing already at 6 months. And I'm like, wow, what happened to the baby that I brought home from the hospital that used to just lay there and look at me? Now it's like she wants to get down and can't even walk. And I'm like, I just want my little baby back. So it's like I understand certain things that my mom did say or still says to this day about us growing up so fast. But like I said, sometimes things can be different for you once you become a mother and once you get with a man and you get married and learn things that his parents might have done growing up with him, and you come together and have a mutual agreement on the way that you want to raise your child. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the way that his parents raised him, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the way that my mom raised me. We come together and come up with a plan on the way that we raise our child. And it's also a learning experience. Things aren't just gonna come super easy, or if we do something, it doesn't necessarily have to stay that way throughout her entire life. We may look back and be like, you know what, the way we did that back when she was a couple months old wasn't the best decision. Maybe we need to change it up a bit. Maybe we need to relax a little more and let her show us some things. Or, you know, you just never know how you want to do things. And I feel like how someone does things shouldn't necessarily be a debate for anybody. You shouldn't feel like because the way that somebody is doing something is not right, or I feel like that's the wrong way, or I feel like you should do it this way. That's not the way you were raised. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna lie and say that I can't be a little, you know, I'm not saying loony, because I'm not gonna say that my mother did a horrible job of raising me. I feel like I'm a very good person, but there are some things that I don't want to put in my child that maybe was put into me. I don't want to do that, and I don't think it's anything wrong with that. Another piece of this puzzle as far as generational curses, I want her to know as much about saving, as much as about raising her credit score, as much about just doing things the right way, having her priorities together, and not feeling like she just has to spend money on unnecessary things to look good for the next person. That's not what it's about. Own something, baby. Do something with your money that can be an investment. Do something that you can pass down to your children. Do something that that's not always material. You know, something that's not always that you have to wear, or something that you have to feel like you look good in. It's okay to do some things for yourself every now and then, and if you have it like that, ball out. But all I'm saying is I'm gonna teach her the fundamentals of finances the best way that I know how. And I wasn't always good with finances, I'm gonna be real. And once I got with my husband, we talked about credit score, we talked about so many things, and he was like, that is very important. Nobody told you that? And I'm like, yeah and no, but thank you for helping me get on the right track. And I am very proud of myself when it comes to those kind of things, and I want my baby to be proud of herself when it comes to those kind of things, and not just be a fresh cutie. It's not about being fresh. It's about what's up here, and it's about, like I said, investments. It's about owning things. What's the point of having all this money, but the only thing you're able to do is rent here, rent there, do this and do that, but every time I turn around, you're doing something that is not of substance. And I'm not even speaking directly to nobody. I'm not talking about anybody. I'm not downing anybody. I'm also speaking to myself as well, because I wasn't always where I am, and I don't want to stay where I am. I want to elevate. I want to do better. I want to be better. But a lot of times, especially on social media, it's like people feel like the more they go out of town, the more they get their hair done, the more they do the things that mean absolutely nothing at the end of the day is really something. And little do you know, our children our children will look at those types of things. They will think that that's the only thing life is about, that life is a big party, and life is not about knowledge. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is something that nobody can ever take away from you. Somebody can take away the material things in an instant, but the power that knowledge hold is priceless. Nobody can ever take that away from you. And that's what I want her to understand. And that's what I want her to know that before anything, my mother and father instilled in me that I need to put something up for a rainy day. I need to be in a position to never need a man. It's okay to want a man, but to need him, especially financially, that's a totally different topic. But I don't want my baby to ever be in a situation where she has to be with somebody who's financially stable, because she isn't. And I just don't want her to ever feel what that's like. I want her to be in a position that if a man leaves, you still good, baby, because I put that in you. Your father put that in you to hustle hard. No matter what, you got something that you can go back to. And sometimes, especially in our culture, that's not necessarily instilled in our children, that you need to have a savings account. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to own something. You need to push towards your dreams, no matter if it's going to school or not. Who said that having a degree is the only way to be successful? I'm just saying. It's plenty of people who have a degree but aren't exactly where they would like to be, or they're doing things differently because of debt, to be honest. And I was one of those people. Nobody really told me about how to go about the student loans and which way to go about this and which way to go about that. Yeah, having a degree is a major accomplishment. I'm not taking away from anybody who has one, but at the same time, it's like, if you're going to have a degree, do something with it and continue to go down that road to do something with it. Don't just sit on it. Do something with it and move forth in life. But my main reason behind this video was to bring awareness to our culture and talk about how things other than the material things, taking trips, because things like that is needed, especially before COVID hit. Taking care of yourself, and sometimes that is a part of taking care of yourself. Taking trips or buying yourself something, that's a part of self-care. But when you know you don't have it and you're living beyond your means, that's where the problem lies. Because at the end of the day, the people that you're trying to look good for, they're not going to help you when you need whatever you need to pay your car note or to pay your mortgage. But at the same time, you trying to look good and keep up with the Joneses. That's not cool. That's not what's up. And I've never been that kind of person. If it's name brand and I like it, okay. And if it's not name brand and I like it, I'm still going to wear it. A lot of people look at the way a person dressed and determine whether or not they're broke or have money. And I think that is so ridiculous, because you can see a person with nothing on name brand, absolutely nothing, and their bank account is on swole. So be careful how you peg people, how you judge people, and how you look down on people who don't have the top tier of everything. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're doing good because you see them with those kinds of things. Sometimes, truth be told, people feed their unhappiness with material things, with expensive things. And who said that that's the right way to go about life? You're going in debt trying to feed something when you could just be real with yourself first and foremost and say, something is wrong. I'm not okay. And that's okay to say. There's been plenty of times that I've said things, being transparent, not just on social media, but with people who I feel confident to talk to, that sometimes I'm not okay. There's been times that I felt depressed. There's been times that I felt alone. There's been times that I needed to really just cry, because it was so much to me going on around me, and just so many things happening in life as a whole, that sometimes you just need to cry out. And not necessarily to people. Sometimes you just need to cry out to God. Sometimes you just need to talk to God. And that's okay too. But everybody wants to live the perfect life, the perfect marriage, the perfect money. Everybody is so perfect. And my husband and I, we talk about this so much. And even on social media, both of us can be transparent. And a lot of people may understand it. Some people may not. But we don't do things for people. If anything, I hope I'm helping somebody. I hope I'm building somebody up. I hope I'm giving somebody hope, because nothing is perfect. But when you really want it, it's worth it. So continue to work towards that thing. If breaking generational curses is what you want to do, continue to break it. Don't allow nobody to stop you from doing that. Just because it happened to your great-grandmother, to your great-great-grandmother, to your mother, to your grandmother, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's something that you have to continue to deal with, that you can have to continue to go through. What your father did or what your father went through doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you have to go through or what you have to deal with. The path that they went on doesn't necessarily mean that that's the path that you have to go on. Just because they put that in you as a child, if you're an adult, make your own moves, make your own mind up, make your own path that nobody has been on before. It can look weird to everybody around you, but if that's something that is in your heart and mind to do, do that thing. If it's positive, if it's something that's going to help you level up in the end, do that. Don't worry about what the next person wants you to do. Don't live for anybody but God at the end of the day. And if your significant other is for you, then they'll push you to do that. They'll encourage you to do that. They'll help you to do that. So at the end of the day, don't worry about what nobody has to say about anything, with money, with raising your child, with your marriage, with anything. And I just recently had a conversation with my aunts and grandmother, and we were talking about how so many people feel as though their relationship or their marriage is goals. I don't ever want nobody to say that about my marriage or about me, because we're growing, constantly growing. Every single day we're growing. We're learning each other, learning ourselves, and just trying to be better people as a whole, individually and collectively. So I don't ever want anybody to ever put that kind of pressure on us or me. I want to be able to help you, or I want to be able to inspire you, but I don't ever want to be a goal for you, because I'm just not that kind of person. And I said that nobody's marriage is goals for me. That's just the kind of person that I am. You can have a great marriage, and I'll tell you that you have such a great marriage. Your husband is this, your wife is that. Like, I think you guys are perfect for each other, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm looking at you like your goals. Like, nobody way of doing things is the way that I want to do things. My husband and I, we do our thing the way that we want to do our thing. Like I said, from day one, we've never done things the way that people wanted us to do them, because that's just the kind of people that we are. I feel like a man should run his house the way he wants to run his house, with the way that he wants to do things. And as the woman and the queen of the house, I don't want my house ran like any other woman runs her house. I'm going to do things the way that I want to do things. And it doesn't matter if it's not perfect in somebody else's eyes. I don't care. Like, that's just not me. And I say all the time that a lot of times people say a person is goals, but you don't know what that person is going through behind closed doors. Yeah, on social media, everything can look good. But like I tell people all the time, even on social media, yes, we go through things, No, nothing is perfect. We're not perfect people. We don't have a perfect marriage. Nothing is perfect. And if somebody tells you that they're perfect or have a perfect marriage and they never argue, everything is always sunshine, run, because they're lying. I'm just being real. But nobody has to tell you what their significant other's flaws are. They're not obligated to tell you that. If they want to tell you, they can tell you that. But nobody's obligated to just spew their the bad things that happen in their home. If, like I said, if you're being abused in any type of way, that's different. Then you should be reaching out to somebody. You don't have to talk about it on social media. You don't have to go live and cry. But you should definitely reach out to somebody that you trust and let them know so they can get you out of that situation and into the proper place. But aside from that, and anything that you do, you don't have to explain it to anybody. And I feel like all of this is connected to generational curses, because what one person learned in your family, they passed it down to the next person and then to the next person. And everybody thought that it was okay. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it was okay. So you are the person to stop it. You are the person to change it. You can be the next person to stand up in your family and say, no, it stops here. I respect you, Ma. I respect you, Dad. I respect you, Grandma. I respect you, Auntie. I respect you, cousin. But I will not live my life the way that you want me to live it. As long as I'm not harming anybody, harming myself, or doing anything horrible, I'm going to do me, period. And I thank you for watching. I will be back maybe like in another week or two. I'm not sure yet, but I will be back. Talk to you guys soon. Like, comment, and subscribe. And please talk to me in the comment section. If you were feeling it, if you weren't feeling it, I want to hear it all. Thank you.